Do you think wisdom teeth are a sign you've grown up? You're wrong. They aren't wise. They're just late. 17, 20, sometimes 25 years late. And when one finally knocks on the door of your mouth, it carries an order written over 100,000 years ago by a body that no longer exists. It's a messenger loyal to the point of blindness. Still trying to carry out a command this world canceled long ago. Look at how it arrives. Every other tooth comes on time in childhood. Your first molar pushes up when you're 6. The second, around 12. They all rise quietly, on schedule, while you're still a child. Then the door closes and your set of teeth looks complete. But deep in the jawbone, something is still waiting. It formed back when you were small, lying still in the dark, in no hurry. It waits for you to grow up. It waits until you think you're mature enough to run your own life. And only then does it begin to rise. And here's the irony. People long ago noticed it arrived at the very age a person was thought to grow wise. So they gave it a beautiful name. The ancient Greeks called it the tooth of prudence. The Romans translated it into Latin as dens sapientia, the tooth of wisdom. From there, almost all of the West followed. The English say wisdom tooth. The French call it the tooth of wisdom. The Germans, too. It's one of the oldest anatomical nicknames still in use, passed down for more than 2,000 years. The Japanese are more poetic. They call it the tooth parents don't know about, because it grows in after children have left home. The Turks are the most blunt of all. To them, it's simply the 20-year-old tooth. Such an elegant name. The truth is far uglier, because there's nothing wise about a tooth that grows crooked, drives in sideways, shoves and crowds and wrecks the row of teeth that sat in peace all through your childhood. So where did it come from? Why would a tooth insist on arriving this late, only to cause so much pain? To understand it, you have to look inside the mouths of your ancestors. Not your grandparents, but humans who lived hundreds of thousands of years ago. They had a jaw you wouldn't recognize. Big, thick, powerful, strung with chewing muscles that could grind almost anything. Inside that enormous jaw, 32 teeth sat neat and straight, with room for everyone. And those rearmost molars, the wisdom teeth, weren't spare parts. They were weapons. Your ancestors had no stove, no knife, no pot. They ate roots tough as rope, seeds hard as gravel, raw meat still full of fiber, coarse tubers caked in grit. Every meal was a battle for the jaw. Teeth wore down, chipped, slowly failed. And when the front teeth had been ground to ruin by years of labor, the wisdom tooth in the very back would rise slowly, like a reserve soldier thrown into the fight just as the front line collapses. It comes late because it's the reinforcement. It was born to replace what had worn out. That's why it exists. That's the order carved into your genes. Grow a backup set of grinders, strong ones, so a human can survive a lifetime of chewing rough food. A perfect order for that world. But here's the part few people understand. That world is dead. And it died so fast your body never got the message. Humans discovered fire. We cooked our food, and food turned soft. We invented agriculture, ground grain into flour, turned the hardest things into porridge and bread. Then food became so finely processed, it barely needed chewing at all. In just a few thousand years, a blink against hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, the human meal went from a battle to a gentle swallow. And here's the strange thing few people know. Your jaw is not something fixed at birth. It is built by the act of chewing. The jawbone grows when it's pressed, strained, made to work all through childhood. A child who chews hard food grows a wide jaw, full of room. A child raised on soft food, on processed meals, never forges a jaw to its full size. The human brain swelled outward, claiming the space, while the jaw shrank from one generation to the next. But the wisdom tooth never got that bulletin. It keeps its old promise. Still programmed to rise. Still the same size as your ancestor's tooth. Still arriving at the age of 20, exactly as it pledged 100,000 years ago. It knocks on the old room and finds that the room has been shrunk, and there's no longer space for it. What happens when a tooth built to ancient dimensions tries to force its way into a modern jaw already packed tight? It gets stuck. It catches under the gum, lies tilted, drives in sideways, shoulders into the tooth beside it, like a latecomer trying to squeeze into a row of seats already full. We call it an impacted tooth, and it's the most commonly impacted tooth in the entire human mouth. It can't come out and it can't retreat. It sits there, forming dark pockets where food lodges, bacteria breed, the gum swells red, and the pain spreads to the ear, to the head. You think you just have a toothache. In truth, you're being bitten by the past. And here's what really deserves saying. That sight was once extremely rare. The oldest known impacted wisdom tooth was found in the skull of a woman who lived in Europe about 13,000 years ago. 13,000 years. And it was rare enough to be worth recording. For most of history, wisdom teeth rose cleanly, fit snugly, did their job. Only when humans entered the age of soft food, only in the last few generations, did the stuck tooth go from a curiosity to an epidemic in every dental office. The pain you assume is a natural part of growing up is, in fact, a very new wound for our species. It isn't the tooth's fault. It still arrives on time, the right size, keeping its word. We're the ones who rebuilt the house and forgot to tell it. And when you understand that, you touch a colder truth. The wisdom tooth is a living fossil in your mouth, a bare reminder that the human body was never designed to be perfect. No genius engineer sat down and drew you from scratch. You are the result of millions of years of patchwork repair. Keep what still works. Leave behind what doesn't kill you outright. Bolt the new onto the old. Nature doesn't ask whether you're in pain. It asks one question, over and over, across millions of generations. Did you live long enough to pass on your genes? If the answer is yes, then one crooked tooth isn't worth erasing. You are not the most perfect version of a human. You are the version that survived. But the body, slow as it is finally learning to cancel the old order. Look around. Not everyone has wisdom teeth. Across the world, roughly 1 in 5 people is missing at least one, right from the womb. In some populations, nearly half are born without this tooth at all. Sometimes it takes only a tiny change in a single gene. One line of code switched off in the blueprint. And the people carrying that switched off line tend to suffer less, go under the drill less often. You are watching evolution happen right in front of you, in real time, in the mouths of the people around you. The human species is slowly deleting a tooth the modern world no longer needs. So one day, when a wisdom tooth flares, when you're lying in the dentist's chair listening to the drill scream near bone, remember that you aren't just removing a spare tooth. You're pulling a fragment of the past out of your own body. That tooth carries a message from 100,000 years ago. I brought you this far, but I never promised to make you perfect. You call it the wisdom tooth because it arrives at the age you imagine you've grown wise. But true wisdom was never in that tooth. It's in the body itself, slowly learning to say no. Learning to stop sending a guest to a feast that ended long ago. That stubborn tooth is proof that no matter how many cities you build, satellites you launch, or whole worlds you hold in your hand through a screen, you have never truly left the cave. You just carry the cave with you, hidden in your bones.